We know an angel when we see one. We know a teacher when we feel one. We know an angel when we see one. Dancing Evelina, you're a gift and we love you. Dancing Evelina, you're a gift and we thank you.
Okay. Wow. What a joy and a pleasure to be with you here, Evie, amongst the beautiful flowers in this paradise of a place.
Thank you. Ditto.
Truly. So, everyone, this is our first time doing this. And as soon as I met Evie, I knew that this was a woman who would be a mentor to me. And she just touched my heart from the very first moment and was very evidently someone who had a lot of embodied wisdom. And I think she has a lot to offer. So these chats are a way of sharing her voice and her light with the world. And maybe you'll catch inspiration from her like I have. So yeah, my name is Kat, and this is Evie.
Hi.
Evelina, dancing
Dancing
Evelina. And we're just going to talk. So, Evie, what has
Yes.
been on your heart lately? I know the world is doing its world thing.
Most important, I think, at this time, at this particular time, is just keep being aware of being compassionate. Being compassionate, yes. Being compassionate for all things. For everything and everybody is remain compassionate. Yes. Because being compassionate takes in so much and everything. It is the core of ourselves too, truly. Yeah, it truly is the core of ourselves. We need to allow it, recognize it, be aware of it. Compassionate.
That feels really beautiful and true to me as well. And I'm curious if you have any tips, because sometimes it can be hard to feel compassion for some. First, certainly for
Yes.
me, you know, when things are really
Well,
hard and when there's pain and suffering and a lack of equity, you know, how do you deal with that?
Well, like you just said, it's not easy because I think one of maybe these are only my opinions. Maybe it's not easy for us because so much of ourselves is absent, and we're not truly our total selves, and that's why it's not easy for us to be compassionate. We have, oh my gosh, so many layers of different things and so many different layers of personality and that we identify with, falsely identify with. But kind of forgot what was that question again?
Any tips on when it gets hard? So what I'm hearing you say is by identifying with those false layers of our identity and that false self, that can lead to a place of not being able to express that core truth
Right.
of compassion. So I guess, how do you access all of yourself and identify as your truth instead of that bullshit?
I guess again, gosh, it's a lifelong situation, a lifelong job to do. And I think one of the things is to really develop being aware, like doing everything in awareness. Because again, that in some ways, I think and feel that's what you are. You're an awareness. You are an awareness. So if you start doing everything in awareness, you'll produce more awareness in your activities, in yourself, in your perceptions. And that could be a start, with just starting to be aware. Now, when you're aware, there's no judgment. You can't aware things and start judging, because the minute you start putting that judgment in there, where are you? You're there. You're there where you put the judgment. Like, say, for instance, you judge. You say, oh, I don't like a tomato. I don't like the color. Where were you? You were over there with the tomato, not liking it and having those yucky feelings about, not liking something. So when you're aware, you're like the witness. And that's how you want to try and be most of the time, as much as you can, in awareness, witnessing. And then you also get that separation from what you've been identifying with for so long. That's not you. Yes. That's what causes a lot of our being so uncomfortable at times. Because we're not, quote, at home in our awareness, compassion, not judging, being the witness, the spirit.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was so beautiful, Evie. I'm just going to run and check the camera to make sure I'm actually recording, because I might cry if this isn't actually recording. We're good. We're good.
Oh, fine.
You know, that would be so sad. I mean,
Yeah.
your jewels, showering these jewels. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. And I know from my personal experience that the vast difference between the times when I am in awareness and honestly, in those times I'm incapable of judging. The idea of judgment just doesn't fit in that state. It just, I don't know. It just doesn't work. And then I definitely know the state of judging and, yeah, all those negative self-talk patterns and, yeah, the conditioning can be so prevalent still. So what have been some practices or events in your life that really helped anchor you into yourself?
Well, let's see where to start. My goodness. Well, there was a time in my life that I was very much in need of something. It's like, oh my goodness, I was just such the effect and so much of the things. See, at the time I didn't realize any of this, but it was like I was so much the effect and living my life through all these false considerations and ideas that just swarmed all around me and was part of my universe. And somehow, some way I knew that this is not right. It's like, I remember as a child just saying that whatever, like, what would you like? I would just like for my mind to be still. I'd like to just have a still mind, but I didn't know what I was saying at the time. And then as I got older, I was just living this 30,000, 30 million, who knows, personalities that we all seem to have and live by and project and do. And then there came a time that it got so bad that I thought it was close to insanity. Like, wow, this is not okay. And I searched to see where I could go, and it started out, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, and I started out with going to Scientology. And I got a lot of help there. I did. But then I also, it was finished. There were like, there was something else. And what that was is going to India. Going to India is really, is really a trip. I mean a trip, like a trip that we talk about a trip. Going to India is a trip. And it is. It started out where I was just going to go for a hike in the Himalayas. Okay, that goes to show you how naive. People just don't go for a hike in the Himalayas. But at 52, I thought, I like to walk, right? Why don't I take a walk in the Himalayas?
Why not?
And besides, there was like a personal story with that too, of why I wanted to go to Kathmandu. But so I go to the Himalayas, I go to take a walk in the Himalayas and go to find out that when you're taking a 30-day walk in the Himalayas, it's a whole different experience. A whole different experience. And it started out with just trying to survive on the trip, you know. And then I was raised Catholic, so I did know the prayer. What if I still know it? Our Father who art in heaven, like, and I knew I just had to keep taking one step in front of the other. So I started, Our Father who art in heaven, and I would just keep saying that prayer just to keep going. Little did I know it was a mantra. That was a mantra would be for me. I visited many monasteries there because I was fortunate enough to be with one of the Sherpas who was a monk at one time, and I was able to go into different monasteries with him. And then, I don't know, I'm telling too much of my personal life here.
I think this is phenomenal. Whatever you're feeling called to share, Evie, please run with it. This
Okay,
is
yeah, you're right. You're
perfect.
absolutely, you're so cool.
You're cool.
Then at the end, we're cool.
We're cool.
Then at the end of these trek and then another trek, I ended up meeting an over 100-year-old monk, the sweetest man, and he was like a child. You see? He was a child with the innocence of a child and the playfulness of a child. That's who we are. That's who we are. And I had the opportunity to be with him for a short time at his house that was probably the size of most people's bathrooms, you know.
Wow.
And meditated some. I thought that's what meditate, you know, just sat with him. I guess it's meditation. And while I was in Nepal, I says, you know, someone told me about a guru, a living master in India, but I don't think I'll be going. I found everything here. This is what I want. I'm not going to India. 2 days later, I'm on a plane to India. What can I say? You see, it's just, I don't, you know, it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. And that's a whole other thing. Then there was India, and there, one of the most precious gifts, actually, you know, there's a lot of people, the word love is used a lot. But and there's many different meanings to love, and there are many loves. But there, I actually was fortunate enough. I've gotten the gift for at moments, at different moments, to feel a love that's what we are, what we really are. And that, I'm sure that gift dwells and is in me, and I can only say thank you. I can only say thank you. Yeah. It's, You know, it is. It's a struggle. It is a struggle here in the physical universe with matter, energy, space, and time, and dichotomies, and the mind, and all the different. Oh my God, all these different concepts and judgments, and how you should be, how you shouldn't be, the right and the wrong. Oh my goodness, but if you could strive and go for. And then again, they say to strive and go for is saying you don't have it. And we do have it. We are that incredible being, incredible spirit. We have it. I guess you just need to be aware. Actually, just being aware. What can I say? Oh, I just love you all. It's just. Oh my gosh, it is. It's wonderful to share it. Oh my gosh, it's okay. Oh,
You see what I mean? See what I'm talking about? Really though. Oh, Evie, I'm just floating in
me
your
too.
beautiful understanding. It feels so good. It feels so good to be guided back to that place.
But isn't it it is wonderful how it's you. It's not me. You know, like I haven't said this. It's like a master. Many masters have said it that they are not quote like we think of the word master. Master just really means a teacher, or that's great. I think it does. I'm not sure. But anyway, they're just a mirror. They're just a mirror. And it's yourself. It's you that's creating all of these, how you feel, and it's you. And then there's other mirrors out there too.
Yep. Sure are.
But all these, like these wonderful feelings you're feeling and all of that. Yeah. It's good, huh? Yeah.
It's beautiful, and I just think that it's so important to be able to come back to that place of awareness again and again
Oh, yeah,
and
yes.
again and again and
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Yes.
Crucial. So, what would you say to folks tuning in?
Uh-huh.
How can you, realize, how can you realize yourself? How can you do that without going and meeting the 100-year-old monk in the Himalayas? And
Oh, and I don't know if that's what did. It's put up a big sign in your house that says I will do all things in awareness, and start with that.
I love that. I love that. Honestly. All things in awareness.
Do all things in awareness.
And how about this, Evie?
Uh-huh.
How about when, so for example, I'll notice that I've fallen out of awareness and I'll beat myself up for it. I'll feel guilty. I'll feel shameful. All of these,
Right?
things
know.
that we don't necessarily need to be giving our energy to or
Right.
being taken over by.
Uh-huh.
So how can someone find compassion for themselves in those moments when they realize that they've gone off track and that it's okay to go off track?
Yeah, oh, definitely. There's a little saying that could be used. It's called flunk start. Just very simple. You flunked in validating yourself. And that, like you just said, you said it yourself just now, that you go, it's not you that's feeling guilty and bad and I shouldn't have done this and I fell out of awareness. And it's all of these other little whatever they are in our universe, these thoughts and considerations. They're not you. And we have to kind of always keep remembering not to feed that, like you just said. And oh my God, I lost my oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. It just goes.
That's totally
I guess it just as is itself.
It goes. You were saying that there's that simple phrase of flunked
Yeah,
start.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we
Which I
keep all the
like.
judgment out of it. All right, so you flunked. Flunk. Okay, what's the big deal? Flunk. Start. That's all. Right? And you just start again. And boy, is that going to happen a lot. It goes, who knows how long. Just so that when you do leave your body, you'll leave a lot more awake than when you came in.
It's a pretty nice goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. Most of us are doing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And would you say,
Uh-huh.
you say that that's what most of us are doing. I'm interested to hear your opinion on, is that what most of us have always been doing? Is there something especially interesting about the times right now? There's a lot of talks of prophecies and the great turning. So I'd love to hear what you've experienced throughout your lifetime, if you felt any collective shifts or anything that comes up for you regarding that.
Regarding what's happening right now in the world, like this very present time.
This present time, and whether you've noticed on a collective level things changing in the past few years, maybe as opposed to several decades ago. Just curious.
Well, I think on this present level, this is just my opinion, and it's
Sure.
it's like looking at a great big picture.
Yeah.
It's sort of saying, I say we have to take responsibility. We take responsibility for our actions, and we take responsibility as to what's going on in the universe right now. True. But also, I think it's saying that it's time to look within a little bit more. It's really time to really go within. That's where the compassion is. That's where you see yourself with the compassion and the non-judgment love. And to go in. I don't say to just ignore what's going on. We all need to take responsibility for it so that as a group and a civilization we can grow. But as an individual, it's an opportunity to go within. Yeah.
That's beautiful and feels so true for me as well. And I'm wondering, you kind of spoke to this, I feel, a little bit earlier, where you said that you were in that lovely monk's home and that you sat together and you called it meditation for a second. And the feeling that I felt underneath that is that meditation and going within isn't necessarily always a seated meditation.
Oh, no. Meditation is just being in present time. For me, this is my opinion on it.
Sure.
Meditation is being in present time. You can meditate. You could be meditating right now.
I think I might be.
Yes. Yes, it isn't. Again, we have we kind of put some judgment on it that you must sit this and you must do that and you must. Meditation is just because when you're in present time, I think at this time that's sort of when you're inside a little bit, or you're not out here with all of this. Yeah, So I hesitated, I think, with the meditation because it's like I'm almost saying, oh yes, now we must meditate and be formal and do our meditation. That's what we should all be doing. It's like everybody has their own way. Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so funny because so many teachers have said that everyone has their own way.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Right. That's there's as many pathways to realizing oneself as there are people.
Right.
And I know for myself, it can be so overwhelming to dip into this practice and dip into this practice and this ideology and that ideology. And it just leaves me just reeling of, is it all true? I don't know.
Right. Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
So I love that your sign in your house of just do everything with awareness, be
Yeah.
aware in all that you do, that really distills those teachings and simplifies things. And that's an accessible spirituality.
Are you not awesome? Are you not awesome? Wow. Oh my gosh.
I just hope that people really can trust that,
Trust.
right?
Yes. Yeah. Like, again, it's like everything has an energy of flow. I remember the 60s, it was that famous go with the flow. Gosh, they don't have any idea how awesome that is, go with the flow. So trust has an energy. Love has, everything does. The flowers, everything, colors, music, everything. And if you could go with the energy of trust, you're home. Because it's a surrender. It's not a succumb, it's a surrender. So now you're going with the flow of existence, trust. And we all know existence is sort of it, because we can all see existence everywhere. There's something behind that existence. You can trust that.
Picking up on it.
Yeah, you can trust that.
So Evie, as
Yeah.
someone who
Yeah.
I know you've had your fair share of ups and downs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I've heard some stories, and I'm sure there's so many more that I haven't heard. And it's just so beautiful to know that you've been through so much and what could be considered quite traumatizing, and are here shining, vibrant, and not stuck in that trauma, and able to find that trust even after you've been hurt and even after you've lost a lot. So I think many of us have experienced some degree of pain and loss and suffering.
I'm sure.
On varying degrees, right? I mean, the stuff that some people go through,
Yeah.
unfathomable. So what does it take to endure those experiences and then find that trust and to flourish out of them instead of being stuck in those states?
You're amazing with your questions. You truly are. They are really, really great questions. I don't quite know how I can answer that one. It's almost like I was given a gift. And right now, I think, wow, it's a little bit of a tear. I think it was those few different moments in India when I experienced, I guess we were just talking about that, being in present time with the great all-powerful love. And I think that's sort of just, I think it's just a gift. It's a gift. And wow, am I thankful for that? I mean, I'm thankful every day. I am grateful for a lot of things, truly. I'm really even happy just to be here in this old crazy universe. Yeah. And I don't really know how to answer that. I'll think about that for a while, because it is good to, when someone gives you a question, and if in some form of a way either you don't have an answer or you resist the answer for some reason, maybe Mr. Ego's in there, who knows, that you look at what all of that was, how you actually feel about it. Because a lot of things come through your senses too. How you see something, like see with the third eye, how you hear things, how your body actually reacts and feels about it. And those could tell you little things too. See, there you go with awareness. There you go.
Always back.
With misawareness. Yeah.
Amazing. And just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
with your sensory experience and indicators,
Mm-hmm.
in what ways do you perceive spirit, love, truth through your senses? Because some people kind of have different ways, right? Some people
Oh, absolutely.
all these different
Ye-
ways. So just
Right.
curious how this shows up for you in your body.
It shows up like the body is extremely light, very light. Just, yeah, and playful. Oh, it's so great to play. We should put some time aside every day to play. We really should. Yeah, that's how my body feels it and expresses it. It feels very light and very playful. Dancing's good too.
Dancing is good too. Agreed.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, hugs are so good too.
Hugs are good too. Add that to the list of good.
Oh.
Evie, thank you so much for sharing and being yourself and allowing me to share you with some friends.
No, thank you for letting me express and share and have it again in words and thoughts and feelings. No, thank you. No, thank you. Truly. Thank you, Kat. Yeah.
I hope that we can do this more if you're open to it.
Sure, yeah. As you wish.
Amazing. Is there anything that you might like to say to anyone tuning in before we kind of wrap it up for the day?
No,
You've said it.
yeah.
Amazing.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment, yes.
Amazing. Thank you so much again. I can't wait for our next chat, for our next play.
God, you're so easy to love.
Likewise. Oh my goodness.
Dancing Evelina, you're a gift and we love you. Dancing Evelina, you're a gift